Welcome back, everybody, to the TI4 SCA Qualifiers Grand Finals. We've got Arrow Gaming up against MVP Phoenix. I'm God, String Me is Fogged. It's tied 1 apiece.
Yeah, I gave them that one game. I said before that they were going to take one game from Arrow, but I felt kind of hesitant even saying that. But MVP just showed that they have what it takes to really compete against Arrow Gaming, and they played so well last game. Arrow's gaming draft was a little bit weak, I guess, but overall I think it was just a lot of misplays coming out of Arrow, and MVP capitalizing the fact and just noticing when the misplays were there.
Arrow definitely the team of the two I'd say more susceptible to falling to nerves. They're kind of young and experienced. I mean, MVP not necessarily a very well experienced team, but they're a team that's playing for, well, they're playing for the same thing, but there's less pressure on them, less expectations. So I think Arrow may be likely to let the nerves get to them. But guys, it's game 2. The draft is underway. We're going to hop into it right away. Very familiar looking draft, Fogged.
Yeah, I mean, not really too many shocks at the bans. It's been exactly the same all the games so far. Invoker Doom for MVP Phoenix and Batrider Ember Spirit for Arrow. And now we do see the Furion picked up first as well. But Arrow got it this time, and they're Radiant again, and it's a Radiant Furion. So right now, Radiant's won both games.
Yep.
With the Furion as well, and we don't see a Wraith. Thank God we don't see a Wraith King coming out. And now Arrow takes, they take MVP's picks. They take the Sand King second pick with the Furion. So well done by there. And MVP decides, you know what, we're gonna draft our Viper because of how well he played it last game. They just picked it within the first 2.
I think it's something that if you don't pick in the first stage, it would have gotten banned, which is where MVP say, look, if they really want Viper game 2, they need to pick it now.
Yep.
I hope Arrow don't fall into the same trap of putting a mismatch in the mid lane. I mean, Queen of Pain didn't get stomped by Viper in the actual laning and the last hitting, but it ended badly once the rotations came into play.
Yeah, he ended up he expended his ulti like I think twice, and they didn't even have the kill on him. And they got turned around on, and they lost multiple heroes. And I mean, Ryzen and March were just really the stars of that game. They played so well.
All right. Well, the other big carry here we've seen not just Radiant winning game 1 and 2, but Faceless Void winning game 1 and game 2. Do we get another Faceless Void here, or is this just too early to say?
It's definitely too early to say. I mean, we do see same bans coming out for MVP. They banned the Tinker again, so they're focusing mostly on DDZ's heroes. And Arrow banning out the Death Prophet. They just don't want to deal with MVP because they know that's one of their heroes that they pick almost every game, and it's there.
Okay, well, we'll see what Arrow Gaming have in store. They're also a team, I mean, much they have their heroes, they've shown that they can pull stuff out of the hat. They run a game where they picked a Tusk, did Tusk solo mid. Every now and then they will go for some unconventional heroes and lanes, but for the most part here, it's a grand final, there's a lot at stake, so I imagine they want to just keep their nerves down and play what they're most comfortable with. So they ban up the Death Prophet again, not wanting to give MVP that really scary 5-man push that they love to go for, but I feel like Viper, that's a good mech buyer if you want to go for that cheesy push this game. Maybe MVP Phoenix will be thinking about a Warlock pick in the 3rd or 4th slot.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I'm a little bit confused as to why they just drafted the Shadow Demon early. I think it was, kind of random. Okay. They just picked it. I mean, I guess they just really like the hero overall, and he does pair, he pairs pretty well with Viper, defensive disruptions and everything like that, but
doesn't necessarily counter Prophet or Sand King.
Yeah, and there's not really any combo with it yet, but maybe they're just like setting up for some of the other heroes they're going to be picking later on in this draft.
Okay, so Treant Protector banned up by Arrow Gaming. I mean, we've seen MVP run a lot of the Treant Protector with the Treant Protector with Shadow Demon, pretty common support duo as well. So nothing too crazy as far as those picks and bans are concerned. And the last ban going to be an Ancient Apparition. So AA Sand King, combine that with the Faceless Void that Arrow like to go for, I think would have been a pretty much a repeat of that game 1 draft.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, AA Furion is just really obnoxious too. Like, you're trying to push a tower, and then it's like, oh, we got hit by Ice Blast, and oh god, a Furion will come through, and we just might lose. You might even lose somebody.
A support's suddenly like, oh crap, I'm dead.
Yeah, you have to watch out for it. So good bans there for MVP, and I don't think they want to risk either way, getting aggressive. I mean, AA is a great hero with aggressive. They do have a Sand King, so it's pretty unlikely, but overall, AA is just he's still a very strong hero.
Yep. Well, we'll see what the carry options for the two teams are going to be. Slarker, commonly picked here for MVP Phoenix, is still available, though it didn't work too well for them in game number 1. They get Centaur for now. Good synergy with the Shadow Demon, although not necessarily going to see these two heroes laning together, but this is probably going to be the offlane hero for 4F.
Yeah, and I mean that's I guess that's probably why they picked up the Shadow Demon though. Like you don't have to lane them together, but you can do some very nice rotations with the Shadow Demon, catch someone off guard, and they're gonna get blown up with the Soul Catcher and the Double Edge.
Okay. Well, as for Arrow Gaming, they generally like to go for those hard carries for Lance. We've seen an Anti-Mage as well as a Faceless Void now. We've seen him on the Doom a lot in the past, and when I say Doom hard carry, that's the way Lance plays it with his Ags, Refresher, and Midas and all that. So
I haven't gotten a chance to see it. I wish I could.
He's been crushing with Doom. It's
Yeah.
pretty scary. But what carries stand out? Like you're against a Viper at Centaur. Do you even want to be picking a hard carry, or do you prefer they just go for something a bit more early mid game centric?
I mean, they could. I've kind of just been seeing them do a lot of this. Like they kind of just draft more so late game carries, and I'm really shocked to just not see Mirana picked at all in this entire tournament. And I mean,
Yeah.
Sanking.
Most picked here in the America qualifier.
Yeah, exactly. And overall, that hero, like, it's not just because of the arrow and the starfall and everything. Like, his ultimate is just so powerful. It either gets you away or you can engage and get some massive, like, you just catch people off guard by it. And it has a great zoning potential. Like, Centaur would have a really hard time in order to get any experience in the offlane if they decide to go for Mirana with the Sanking there. They can set up the stun into the arrow and that Centaur will probably die.
Yeah.
But they end up just deciding, you know what, we're going to hold off on our carry. We don't want to reveal it. We're going to pick up our Dazzle.
Yeah, I think nice idea to just get your support here because MVP themselves haven't revealed too much if they want to get a hard carry, do Viper mid, do a safe lane Viper. I think if MVP want to stay secretive, they can easily pick up their other support here, though. Although even just picking up your other support does reveal quite a bit about what you want to do. If you're going to pick up an Enchantress Chen jungler, so it's going to be a bit tricky for MVP to decide what they want to do here with this fourth pick.
Yeah. And just waiting to see what they really decide to pick up. They're running out of time. They're running out of some of their bonus time right now, but
Arrow Gaming are down to 19 seconds of that, so geez, they've at the same time I feel like using your bonus time, it's more important to use it early on because like your last pick or two, you've only got like you have to pick a mid hero, so there's only so many options. It's like earlier on you can pick a mid or a support. It's like that's where your bonus time is maybe more valuable.
Yeah, and I really hope, I hope they don't go for everything. And yeah, wow, they go for a Visage. And this is actually a really fun combo. Having Visage with Centaur, the Visage birds actually proc the Centaur ulti. So if they fly over somebody, they slow them. And then you can get a couple extra hits, and then you can drop the stuns very easily. So it's a good pickup there. We haven't really been seeing too much Visage. He's fallen off because of all the big hits he's taken. But these three heroes together, Shadow Demon, Centaur, and Visage, actually have if one of the most, if not the most, burst potential.
Possible tri lane, do you think, coming out of those three heroes, or do you want to just leave the Centaur to the offlane?
I mean, I guess it is a possible tri lane. Wow, we do see a Lifestealer picked up for Arrow. I mean, we haven't. This hero gets no love anymore.
It's one of the heroes I think we're going to see a lot when it comes to the China qualifier, but here in the SEA as well as in America, it was hardly picked up at all. It matches up pretty well against the Centaur and against Shadow Demon Visage, tons of burst magic damage. It's a good hero to have, even though Viper Strike goes through your rage. I still actually like this pick here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can work, but at the same time, he does, you know, do a lot to the Centaur, a lot of damage and stuff. But Stampede is kind of like a semi-counter because they can just really kite the lifesteal around, especially because you know they have the Viper. On top of that, they also have the Shadow Demon Purge, which goes through the rage and everything too. So I mean, I think it can work if they find a way to pull it off, but I think it can also get very crushed if he does not have a good game.
They need that kind of transportation here, right? Sanking can be it, but I think you'd rather have a Puck or a Storm Spirit as your solo mid here. We'll
MVP bans out a Razor. So.
That's I'd say unusual ban. I don't think they would have wanted to go for a Razor here.
Maybe maybe they might be setting up for an OD for mid.
Oh yeah,
it is possible. I mean, but Razor is one of like the few heroes that can actually withstand the OD in mid lane.
Yeah. So no sign of DDZ's hero just yet on the Arrow Gaming side. It's for MVP. Probably looking for QO's hero. Normally March on the Viper, and they're going to ban out the Slark. So one of the more commonly played MVP Phoenix semi carries and. Fifth pick goes first to MVP Phoenix, so Arrow Gaming do get the chance to respond to whatever MVP pick up here.
That's the beauty of being first pick. I mean, you always just get to see that last year, and you can counter it really heavily if you want to, but we'll see what they end up going for. MVP's taking their time, not really too worried about, you know, of course they have a lot of bonus time, so they can. And right now they have a pretty solid draft, and yeah, they go for this Luna. So I think that'll probably be the tri lane. But you know, Shadow Demon Visage can smoke up really early and they can blow people up with that Centaur.
Yeah, you probably just safe lane tri lane as well with the Shadow Demon Visage Luna, or do they even consider going offensive with that?
It'll probably just be defensive. I mean, in games like this, like they don't want to. If you go offensive and you end up not doing, you don't shut the guy down entirely and you give up a kill or something, it's so devastating. And with Luna, if you don't have like an amazing start, that hero can really just fall off. Like, and we've seen it happen multiple times when people go aggressive tri lane with a Luna. They die once or twice. Luna has to go top, and then he dies again, and then it's like, oh god, we have a Luna with just like a treads and then a Killa, and it's not at a good timing in the game.
Yep. Well, last pick now coming up for Arrow Gaming. They've got 10 seconds to decide. This is where you maybe wish you had a bit more bonus time. As all of a sudden they need to pick a mid hero, and they need to pick a mid hero fast. And it's going to be Brewmaster for DDZ in the mid lane, I imagine. And,
more diversity. He's been playing a lot of different heroes now because his heroes just keep getting banned out. So I'm very interested to see this because his Invoker is very, very good. And I mean, that's one of those heroes that it's not just microing. It's a lot of, just using your spells properly and everything. So Panda is kind of like, he's not
similar
the same. He's like similar type concept. And we'll be able to see the power of it and how well he can play it.
Yeah, different hero design, but like similar, I guess, skills and mechanics needed.
Something I'm not too sure of either, actually, is I don't know if the purges off, or the dispel from the Panda, does it purge off the Centaur Stampede? Okay, it cannot be purged. Okay, no. So I'm a noob.
That Panda dispel is really random with what it dispels. Like
sometimes it like you think it will and it just doesn't. And
I remember some people would like do Brewmaster against Omni Knight because you could actually get rid of the Omni Knight repel using it.
Oh yeah, that's
back in the old days.
That's awesome.
It's one of those back when Omni Knight was actually a legit hero, not trash tier pick. But
and we've been seeing like I think we've been seeing most of the Southeast Asian teams when they pick Sanking, the very rare times that we've actually been seeing picked up, they go just boots first and they cripple the other support entirely. So Dazzle just he bought everything. He bought smoke, or he bought sentries, obs, and the courier. So he just has his own tangos for himself.
And Prophet is going to be in the off lane, so it puts Brewmaster mid. MVP have gone 5-man down bottom lane. They want to get some early wards here, maybe to block the pull and possibly look for an early pickoff, but they're not going to find it immediately. They scout out Mosin with that Observer Ward. Mosin, do not poke your head forward. He's going fishing, and he's not going to get a disruption off just yet. And there we go. Johnny scouts out the heroes in this bottom lane, and that's pretty much a good telling sign that there's 5 heroes down here, as well as the tree, and that's going to see absolutely everything here from MVP.
Yeah, and MVP did the same thing again this game. They didn't put March on the hard carry, and I was talking with Fear about it before, and March doesn't really have like the best win rate when he plays the hard carries. It's QO that usually ends up being a lot better, and I think it's appropriate because March, he makes a lot of space, and his Viper last game was pretty dominating.
Yeah. Even when he got caught out a couple times here or there, it was still like, okay, well, they're getting farm, they're getting towers being pushed in the other lanes and pressured. So we'll get into game number 3. Tied 1 apiece here in the grand finals. Arrow Gaming up against MVP. We'll quickly run through our lineups. Arrow Gaming, the team from Malaysia on the Radiant side, going to be putting Lance on the carry Life Stealer. We've got Johnny on the Sand King, Muzun playing the support Dazzle. In the mid lane, it will be DDZ on the Brewmaster, and finally in the off lane will be Zheng Zhai playing the Nature's Prophet for the Radiant side. For the Dire side, we've got MVP Phoenix from Korea, Forev on the off lane Centaur. Solo mid will be March on the Viper. We've got Raisin playing the support Visage. We've got Heen on the Shadow Demon, and that leaves in the safe lane farming role Cure on the Luna. Taking a lot of damage early on with this creep wave at top because of the Prophet's shenanigans. He's pulling the creep wave away, and this means Lunas just does not want to have to be lasting underneath the tower. That's never fun.
He lost the creeps, though, unfortunately.
Oh,
and,
okay.
The MVP was actually able to pull and connect the creep wave into it, at least with 2 of the creeps. So not the best for the Furion, but at the same time, he's still going to get a lot of experience because the next wave is going to be his first share. And then the other wave, it should just push into his favor, and he's going to get some levels out of it.
The main thing is you need that level 2 so you have the teleport to maybe actually escape some potential ganks coming your way.
And a big thing to point out now is that Arrow blew both their sentries in bottom lane, and they need those 2 supports need some levels, and they did not get that Obs Ward down, so their pull is blocked. So they just have a straight up tri lane, and they're just going to try to go on Forev right away.
No, Forev possibly going to be a killer if he's not careful. There's even got open wounds. Forev does not. Actually, there's no rage for Lance. He's just level 2. Forev going to get very low. One more right click from the Dazzle. First blood picked up by Moose, and he takes a lot of damage to get it, but well worth it, all things considered.
Yeah, and he did opt for the boots first there, so I think maybe if he had a stout shield there, he would have lived. But I mean, you can't blame him for just going boots in this off lane. He probably didn't really expect to get picked off like that.
Raisin's thinking, let's snipe some couriers. We've seen this just flat out win games, and here in the mid lane, Brewmaster getting close. He's actually still 140 gold away from it, so he needs a couple last hits before he can actually get that. So Raisin's going to be waiting a long time in that mid lane before that bottle's coming out. Maybe March just gets the word, say, hey, look, give him some last hits, help him get that bottle even faster.
That'd be pretty weird.
Dude,
but no,
that's some next level tactics.
Some next level tactic.
Like you get the word from your support, like give him some CS. Stop last hitting for a second.
And now he's got the bottle coming out, so maybe we'll see Ryzen be able to get the snipe. He should have actually probably waited a little bit longer because DDZ did go for the stout shield build on the Panda first.
Oh, they've even got Centaurs, because often you dodge the mid lane courier gank by going the other way around with the courier, and that's where Centaur is. But he's going to go straight down the mid lane. Brewmaster goes back to pick it up. Raisin wants to go for it. Oh, he gets the Grave Shelf. He's going to die for the courier. This is going to be another kill. Raisin's under the tier 2 tower. What a big misplay coming out. They lose the courier, but this is going to be another kill. What are you doing? Forev, go home. You're drunk, man. Is that even remotely worth it?
Definitely not. No way. I mean, this Panda's gonna be level 6 at like the like before the 4-minute mark, and then he can just solo kill March. Like that was pretty goofy. I don't think I've seen that happen. I mean, actually, that's untrue. Theban kind of had the same thing happen to him. Like he overchased the courier and ended up dying for one of those times in our game. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they got some money.
The money's there, but the experience for the Brewmaster, I think, is the big one there. As we're asking for a bit of a pause here. I'm not sure what the problem is. Teams aren't too sure either. I think that the Korean casters have lost it, and it's suddenly like, guys, we need a second.
Is that a question mark being drawn on the minimap too, or is that like a pad?
Yeah, it looks fine on fog screen, but
yeah, don't worry about it.
Oh, we've got some broadcast violations.
I wonder what that even means.
They're probably not streaming with 5 minutes delay. You're meant to have 5 minutes of delay. Picnic. Yeah, as Mod's saying, maybe that needs to be translated to Vietnamese. Who knows if they actually understand what's going on? But no casters have left the game just yet. But Fogged, what a way to start off game 3.
Yeah, okay. That is. They're saying that it is. About the 5
yeah, that's delay. The only thing that you could be like without. They're not talking in all chat, so I'm not sure what else. Alright, so it needs to be fixed or something's going on here. But
that was I've never seen something like that. Like the Centaur had the haste rune, but it was running low, and he just YOLO dove for he went all the way up to the tier. He went all the way up onto their high ground and just completely crazy. But at least he got it. At least he didn't die.
I think for the Centaur himself, it's worth it. I think it's the visage you look at and think, what was he thinking? Because for Centaur, it's not like he's getting any XP or farm in the off lane. He trades his life for a courier kill. I mean, looking at that, as far as gold's concerned, probably worth it. But
First Blood had already been given anyway.
Yeah,
so.
It wasn't First Blood. That's the big thing. So looks like we'll have the game being resumed here, and hopefully everything okay with our friendly Vietnamese casters as Viper, level 4.5. Where exactly is the Brewmaster on levels? So Viper's going to be hitting level 5 fairly soon. Brewmaster already 5.5. So,
that's so scary. I mean, March is probably like, I hate you guys. I was having such a good time in this mid lane, and now, as soon as that Panda hits 6, he has to be super careful because he's dead if he goes on him.
If the clap lands, it's a kill. So DDZ are going to be getting that level 6 much before March does, as the only lane going particularly well for MVP seems to be this top lane where Luna is 22 CS, matching up to the life. So, I mean, Viper's still winning the mid lane on CS, but the potential for a kill is just huge. And the supports for MVP seem content to just stay in the top lane, possibly going to go for an early push here, as the siege creep has come out, and they've got a decent... the creep wave's being destroyed into the tower, so they're not really going to look for that double creep wave push that you sometimes see happen when the siege creep comes.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're both getting both off lanes are about getting the same thing. I mean, Furion's getting his levels. Centaur's not really getting too much, but he is getting... He's level 3, but he has 2 deaths on him already, which kind of sucks. But he does finish up his Tranquil Boots, which is nice. And in the meantime, the Dazzle is just...
mid lane, they've gone in with the Brewmaster ultimate. March, is he going to survive this one? Boulder Toss to start things off. There's a TP from your Shadow Demon. The defensive disruption may save his life. As March still being chased, they need another Boulder Toss. He's kind of blocking the Fire Panda there. Another Boulder Toss comes out. March gets low. Has some tangos, 1 or 2 more right clicks. The Grave Chill. March survives on 2 HP, 1 HP. Oh!
The Chainmail and his Magic Wand just flew out on the courier, and that ended up saving him. That was beautifully done there by March.
Oh my gosh. That bonus
a little
armor.
Bit lucky.
Yeah.
Maybe. Luck is no excuse. I mean, that was just really well played by him getting that Chainmail, and now Furion's just getting chased down. He's going to take his bill.
Yeah. So Furion goes down. That's a big dive. I mean, that was the TPM where he put himself in a bad spot. The other thing is DDZ. I mean, talk about micro and control there. He was blocking his Fire Panda with the Earth Panda. That was
a little bit of a miss micro there by him.
Not the end of the world for Arrow Gaming, but it's still an escape from the Viper. Brewmaster ultimate now on cooldown for 90 seconds as Viper TP's back mid and doesn't have to be too worried in this mid lane for too much longer. They did force a Shadow Demon rotation, but it's not like Shadow Demon was needed top when Prophet's diving mid and feeding away his life.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Luna's just farming up top. Same thing as with the Lifesteal. We actually do see Forev getting engaged on bottom, so he might take a spell, but it doesn't really look like
there's no open wounds, Not going to be able to get that kill. Lifestealer seems to be going for Midas here. Got the early brown boots, picks up the gloves of haste. Not going for the phase boots often means you can't get those kills on the offlane hero. Do you like not going for the phase boots rushing a Midas, or do you feel he should go phase boots?
I mean, I don't see a problem with going phase boots and then the Midas. So he might have even gotten a kill there with those phase boots. It's a possibility, but I think it's just player preference, really. I personally think just building up the phase boots and then you can build the Midas is perfectly fine. But he is basically like it's a single core Lifestealer versus a Luna. So I think the Midas is pretty necessary no matter what.
Well, for now, Lance, Midas will be coming out fairly soon for him. Probably like a 7-minute Midas, which is nothing wrong with that. As we're going to see Haste Room picked up by March at the top lane. He's going straight for that mech. You talk about the chainmail saving his life, and that just doubling up his armor means that the physical damage from a Brewmaster Primal Split is so much negated.
Yeah, I think he's definitely still should have died. It was a little bit of mismicro by DDZ,
yeah.
but either way, very well played by March. They're bringing the courier, getting his items at the exact proper time, just like last time when he got his mech just at the perfect time as well.
Even the Grave Chill from the... I think without the Grave Chill, I think they get the kill, because that right click from the Prophet would have come maybe half a second earlier before the HP regen. He gets the kill, so every little thing added up and was done perfectly.
Hey, that's Dota, man. You gotta love stuff like that. So that's what makes the game so enjoyable.
It's amazing because like one kill that could just, I mean, Arrow could snowball and win the game off of that. Now they don't get it, and it's, well, not to say they would have snowballed off of that, but it would have been a big boost to their early game.
Yeah, I mean, and DDZ's already 2-0. If he had gotten that kill, he would have been on his way toward his Blink Dagger very, very soon, very, very early in the game.
Midas now being flown out for Lance, so he'll go into the jungle, probably pop that on one of the big creeps here. As Johnny positioned near mid, then possibly going for another kill on March here. March doesn't be careful. Brewmaster ultimate is back up. A clap and an ultimate, and that possibly could spell his demise. Johnny.
Yeah, they've got a mid lane ward at least. So if Johnny steps up too far, he's gonna get spotted. But Johnny's on his way toward his blink now, and he's gonna rotate top. They don't want to lose this tower for free.
Yeah. Well, can they defend this one? The siege creep is gonna be taken down. No creep wave gonna be there in time. So with the creep wave, with the siege creep down, with another creep wave arriving, it looks like this tower should be kept alive. Who's actually got TPs to defend this? I think Brewmaster's the big hero you'd love to be able to TP, and he's got a TP ready for this top tier 1, so I don't think Arrow are going to let this go down without a fight.
Yeah, everyone
TP's
on their side has one. And Sand King is setting up on the side. I actually was going to say I don't really like the fact that he's doing, because he could just be jungling right now and getting much closer to his Blink Dagger, but if they do overextend and he gets kills from it, then it's going to end up being very beneficial for him.
Jingjai cops a Lucent Beam. The fact they're just casually harassing him, it seems that MVP aren't intent to commit to this tower until now. Centaur shows up, just hit level 6, so he's got Stampede for this push. Zhang Jai may just be forced to TP home. He's completely depleted on HP as well as mana, so a TP home and then a teleport back in could be in the cards for him. Yeah, he's going to do just that. I think he says, look, we can defend this tower, I just need to heal up and then TP back in first to do so. Johnny may get spotted here. Meanwhile, mid lane, Viper Strike on a DDZ. He's going to TP top though, says, I don't care about your Viper Strike. They get a Burrow Strike to engage on 4 of the clap. No Primal Split though, nice disruption being used in the Stampede to cover the retreat. Good defensive play from MVP, although they're committing a lot of heroes to this top lane and not getting the tower. That's a weird Viper Strike mid. It was like a, hey, I know you want to TP top, I'm just going to Viper Strike you kind of...
Yeah, that was a bit strange, but at the same time, like, now Arrow is able to just, you know, Lance is going to end up getting a little bit more ahead of the Luna there because they're just dedicating so many resources to that top lane, and they didn't end up getting that tower. And Luna doesn't go for the Midas, but he is going for the Dominator, which I think is very appropriate.
Yep. As far as the early game goes, I mean, Lifesteal or Luna trading farm... 3 kills to 1, not really that much either way. Do you feel this start favors either of these two teams?
I think it's probably favoring Arrow just a little bit because of the, you know, that crazy courier stuff that we just saw happening. So I mean, I think it favors them a bit, but at the same time, it's just really even at this point. Like it's too hard to say really. I mean, the Viper's going to be getting a very early mech, which is going to be nice for his team, but also the Sand King's going to be getting a pretty early blink up on the side of Arrow. I think Panda's going to be getting quite an early blink as well. He's already 700 away from that.
It's kind of the race to Blink Daggers. MVP Centaur's going to be the last one to finish that race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got his Tranquils, he's got 800 gold, but that's it.
Yeah, and you have a Viper mech. You can maybe like counter gank and play defensively with the mech, but you can't engage and go for team fight pushes without those Blink Daggers up. And they'll try and bring down this tier 1 top tower, which may actually be possible because there's no one up here to defend this. So MVP thinking maybe they have a freebie here. Glyph is going to be deployed, but still, no TPs coming just yet, but the tower alone seems to be capable of defending this one.
Yeah, and Stampede's up already again, and that's actually Stampede's a great ability versus Panda, because if he pops that Primal Split and you get Centaur ulti off and you just run everyone away, it's like, oh man, Centaur ult's down, and oh, DDZ finds a haste rune, and this could be
Burrow
really
Strike
bad.
through, they get the tower denied. Johnny gets, no, doesn't get it. Luna gets the last hit. Hoofstomp going to hit Johnny as well. In goes your Lifestealer, infest into the Nature's Prophet. They get 1 kill with the Eclipse coming out. DDZ still hasted. Wants 4F. Has the ultimate. Going to throw it now with no Stampede. There's no running away from this one. Lance taking a lot of damage. Doesn't have Rage for now. He's going to hide in the trees. TP himself out of there. Johnny a bit out of mana. It looks like there's no more Burrow Strikes. They're not going to chase down March. They want the Visage instead. And with 0 base armor, this Visage very, very squishy. But the Brewmaster ultimate wearing off DDZ. No TP for him. He's trapped. They don't see him. They don't see him!
No
way. Please!
No,
what?
If he gets out of here, that's unbelievable.
What? They think he TP'd. He's like, I gotta check once more. Did that see him? No.
Nope.
No way. No fucking way.
I can't believe this. If he's still. Oh.
No.
Oh, he got him there. Oh my god, that was unbelievable.
He's dead. Okay, Disruption's there. No, he's not dead. Now, March, everyone's going to show up. The whole shebang, and DDZ will go down.
He buys his Blink Dagger, though. He loses no gold out of it, at least. But that was really funny there. That could have been something very goofy.
Shadow Demon like backed off, like, oh, I think he's gone. I think his team's like, dude, he's in there. Like, where else can he be? Someone must have said he had no TP.
Yeah, it had to have been something like that. And at the same time, like, that actually created a lot of space up there. Like, they were just hunting for him for a lot of time, and in the meantime, Johnny picks up his Blink Dagger now in the jungle.
Space created. QO is going to start farming up some of these ancient stacks. Just a little double stack coming out here, but at this stage, QO's not really equipped to farm much more than this with how squishy he is. But he's going straight into a Yasha with this Blade of Alacrity, and we'll see which way he looks to build. If he prioritizes getting a BKB or just goes straight for a Manta style.
Yeah, I think probably the Manta style is good, but I feel like a BKB is probably going to be necessary because, you know, Drunken Haze and all that is just really annoying. But Luna isn't doing the most right-click early on in the game. She's more so just depending on her Eclipse to really just take out people.
They did kill Luna that last fight. The Prophet, I mean, talk about lifesteal coming to fights. He came to the fight inside the Nature's Prophet teleport, which was a pretty nice little trick, although it did end up getting the Prophet killed off, unfortunately. But
he already had his Midas, so... Actually, no, he doesn't
even
just
have
bought
his
Midas.
Midas.
Okay, so he's got it coming up very soon. So not too bad for the Fury, and he's got it
a little bit
late.
Slow,
yeah,
especially with no phase boots, but...
Yeah.
He can, I mean, Prophet's a good catch-up here regardless, and both teams have been really prioritizing. I mean, first pick Prophet 3 games in a row. Do you feel the hero's impact has kind of justified that?
I mean, I really don't think so, to be honest. Like, he's made some pretty good... The Furions overall have been making some good plays, but I think they're just picking it because of, you know, the global aspect of it.
Mid lane, there's a blink, there's a Burrow Strike. March going to be the one they want to go on here. March does still have his mech. This is going to be popped immediately. Brewmaster popping his ultimate as well. The Familiar Stun's buying him some time, but March going to go down regardless. Wants to take Johnny down with him. Johnny, Grave will save his life here. They'll kill off one Familiar, and with that, Raisin's got no Familiars. He's already lost one previously to the lifesteal. Heen's being chased down as well. Cyclone going to be able to set up a Panda Clap. Does DDZ have the mana? Does he even want to hang around? Lance going to show up as well. He gets a slow onto Raisin. Raisin's in all sorts of trouble. Blink Clap will finish him off. Meanwhile, Shadow Demon's used the Disruption. Now come the Trees. That's going to take up most of the Eclipse damage. Cure just being helped out by a Stampede from the Centaur to help him escape here. Lance can get slowed by Demonic Purge, but that's full retreat from MVP. They kill the Prophet, but that's about all they get out of that fight.
And Centaur actually has a Blink Dagger as well, so he gets it really early.
Yeah. And they want to fight this. 4 goes in, Blink, Double Edge, Mozu, no Grave from him. Lucen Beam finishes him off. Now Lance on the run.
Oh!
That was nice. Disruption, not in time. No mana as well. Oh, we just got the mana for it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a really nice move there. Yeah, that was some nice teamwork.
These guys not just, I mean, talked about them pre-match. They're all kind of like top leaderboard players and kind of the pub star team, but they've got some teamwork as well.
Whoa, I haven't seen this in a while. Tranquil Boot Sanking.
Ooh.
Actually, I don't think I've ever seen it. I'm saying a while, but...
I've seen it a few times. Oh, they go in mid lane. Oh. Blink, Clap coming up from the Brewmasters. Does not have an ultimate. They've lost Sanking to start things off here, and Lifestealer wants to bring down Heen. Will manage to finish him off here, but now gets Viper Striked up, and will be pushed back a bit here as Lance cannot really continue fighting with the Viper Strike. On 1-for-1 trade, Shadow Demon for the Sanking. Meanwhile, Luna taking heavy damage. They've re-engaged. Lance going to get 1 kill here. If no Familiar Stuns available just yet, and Heen. Also, Reason going to go down as well, so these Familiars going to be so careful with him. He just resummoned them, does not have them up if they go down, so...
That's the beauty of, like, I mean... That's why Pandas just excel so much. Having this, it's a low cooldown Thunderclap. He's able to just jump in and just constantly re-engage in the fights. Ooh. And on top of that, with the weave, he was critting pretty damn hard there. It was like 260 crits, and he just actually did go for phase boot, so that is why. So.
Looks like the Dazzle going to go for a fluff and stuff smoke, just go plant down some wards down near the enemy ancients, and he smoked to do this, which is kind of important because if there's an MVP ward near Roshan, his movement gets spotted out. They realize what he's doing, so this ward will go unnoticed for now. Give some much-needed vision of those ancients, and this could set up a kill later on the Luna.
I might. That doesn't block, does it? I don't think that ward blocks.
So. We'll
Gets good vision though.
I think they'd almost rather QO try and farm it, and they get a kill on him using like Prophet Infest bombs or a Brewmaster with a blink. Actually, it's gonna be Johnny with the Infest bomb. He's hoping that someone comes towards his top lane with Lance inside of him.
That's a pretty scary lifestealer at this point. He's got Phase, Drum, Midas, and his armlet already completed. 15 minutes in, so he can. If Luna goes up there, he's gonna die almost instantly. And Luna's not gonna go for that Manta style first item. He does have the Yasha, but now he picks up an Ogre Axe at base.
I think this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So. Luna is going to head towards those Ancients, so right now no one's really there to contest this unless we see Sand King maybe TP towards that bottom tier 1 tower.
they see them trying to stack the Ancients, and Furion sends a tree in and blocks it. So
nice.
really cheeky move there by the Furion.
Doesn't reveal the fact it's watered too much, as QO is going to farm it up, and MVP, they're protecting him. They're actually into the Roshan pit. This is a risky play, but considering where Arrow position right now, it looks like a play that may pay off.
Yeah, Johnny's just been sitting up there with the Lifestealer, so Lifestealer's not getting any farm while he's inside of the Sand King there, and it looks like that's going to be a free Roshan from MVP.
I've seen this trade so many times, like Roshan for that top tier 1 tower. It's so common that this happens, and not even like as an intentional trade. It's just Arrow Gaming not in position to really contest Roshan right now. They've lost their tier 1 mid tower, which is the closest tower to the Rosh pit, so without that, very difficult to contest.
Yeah, a bit strange that they didn't really expect something like that. They did have that ward at the Ancients, so they actually saw them walk back. The Luna walked there into the pit, but the Luna did end up going in late, so pretty hard to react to it. And they had the Infest set up top, and Lifestealer is still inside of that sinking.
They want to get a kill top lane, it looks like. It's like we've waited this long. Someone's probably going to come top to farm. Even if it's a Luna with an Aegis, they could go for this kill. It looks a little bit obvious. Johnny's going to show up there. Life's still going to pop out. They're just going to go for some actual pressure onto the tower. They see the entire MVP team bottom lane with that Observer Ward, and with that, they say, look, tier 2 tower, we've got 3 heroes here, and unless MVP TP multiple heroes, defending this is going to be tricky.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Shadow Demon does port up there, but it looks like it's... I'm pretty sure they're just going to be leaving there. No, March is just TPing in. They do have the Aegis, so...
Yeah, Viper TP's first. March is on the chase here. Wants maybe to get Muzun out of this. Blink Clap coming up from the Primal, as well as the Primal Split. They go into March here. Lance... He's going to rage out this one, and March is going to go down. Oh, no. Oh, Willie. Disruption's going to keep him alive just that little bit longer. March will be waited for by the Primal Split here. Nice blink hoofs on from Ferret, but he's just so low as well. The Eclipse coming out now as well. Johnny getting low on the Sand King. The Grave being used on a Primal Split Warrior. What are you thinking there? Lance, one more right click, knocking him enough. Nice armlet toggle from him. They've lost Viper for the Dazzle so far. Lifestealer once again, armlet toggling to victory. Great 2-hero Burrow Strike coming in from Johnny, but is the damage there? Looks like Arrow Gaming are just out of options here as far as damage output goes. Lance has gone back in with the armlet toggle. He almost brings down the Sentinel, but another disruption helping out, and Lance has gone on full retreat here. It's going to be so perfect with the armlet toggle. You can almost turn around on Cure, but Cure has the Aegis, so it's not going to be worth it. Meanwhile, Brewmaster and Sand King snipe the center and the backlines here. Cure is actually in a lot of trouble here. He's just trying to man-fight his way out of this one with DDZ. As the Drunken Haze coming out here, Lance has gone back in. This is just a Shadow Demon with no mana whatsoever. So well kited by Arrow Gaming. Lance on that lifesteal just does serious work, and DDZ making a blink off. He gets the blink out.
The poison on him though, he's gonna die.
Oh yeah,
he goes down. That's a lot of money going the Shadow Demon's way, and they didn't even get the Aegis down there. It was super close for the Luna dying there, but he kept the Aegis the whole time. So that fight was pretty close. I mean, there was some nice spell usage there. There was some nice 2 to 3 man burrow strikes. Unfortunately, the epicenter was completely whiffed, and then he whiffed the stun again right after that. So I think that's actually the only reason that fight did not go more in favor of Arrow.
I think it's the fact that Lifestealer doesn't die there means Arrow Gaming, I would say they come out slightly ahead. Looking at the teamfight recap, they come up ahead 1,700 experience as well as about 200 gold, so pretty even as far as the numbers are concerned. But Lifestealer staying alive was the big win for them. They would have loved to have dealt with the Luna Aegis, but I don't think they're too afraid of Luna at this stage with the Lifestealer as farmed as he is, too. At least for now. Once Luna gets another item, that quickly changes.
Yeah, and it looks like Forever's actually building toward a 4-staff on Centaur, so that's not too common of an item that we've been seeing on him, but I don't really blame him at all because he's versus a Lifestealer, so.
Yep, DDZ very close to an Aghanim Scepter, just 700 to go. The bottom tier 1 tower does get denied, but it's still some gold to the pockets of Arrow Gaming, and with that, that's your Brewmaster. They're getting very close to his Ag Scepter. There was a BKB on Luna, I think. There we go. Luna gets the BKB arriving, and March going for a BKB of his own on the Viper.
Yeah, and I mean, DDZ is actually opting to just go for stats instead of maxing this Drunken Haze. So a little bit weird there, but I mean, he does know that the Luna is going to go for a BKB, but Drunken Haze maxed versus a Viper is pretty devastating. Like, he's just going to miss every single attack there. And
he'll probably go back and max it, you'd say, or
maybe
he definitely should.
I think he should, because once you get your Ag Scepter, you're using your Drunken Haze inside of that form as well. So you really want to level. I don't know actually if it's does the level get affected while it's inside.
Yes.
It must. Yeah. Okay,
it's the same level as what you have it on your hero. That's what level the Primal Split Warriors have it.
Yeah, I didn't even comment on it when they picked the Luna. They already had the Furion up on Arrow, so I mean, Furion Treants are a very good block for Eclipse. And even though he wasn't even there for the initial team fight at top, it ended up working out for
MVP.
Arrow.
Grouped up at bottom lane. Want this tier 1 tower. Arrow kind of smoked here. They're leaving Lifesteal top. It looks like they're going to go for the trade here. And Lance may just get a free tier 2 tower this one. Both teams using the glyph here. No TP just yet. Familiars are available at top lane to try and defend this one. They're actually going to go. Sand King, Epicenter, Blink, Burrow Strike. They go on QO here. Not the best Epicenter as well. Actually, no, cancels the hoofs up from the Centaur. Viper now going to Viper Strike Lance here, but the Rage on Lifestealer blocking all of this Eclipse damage. QO wastes the BKB, wastes the Eclipse. Is this going to be enough, though, for Arrow Gaming? Johnny now getting stunned up. Gets another huge Burrow Strike off the Primal Split. Still up as well. They've brought down the Centaur, but they've lost the Dazzle and the Sankey in the process. They will end up getting the Viper as well now. As QO still fighting, holding his ground, just right-clicking the victory. And with that, the Prophet maybe going to go down. One more Soul Assumption will find him. 4 for 3. DDZ, the only survivor, wants Raisin, but I think going to quickly realize he cannot get this kill. It's a 1v1 at the end of the day with one TP out. DDZ left just with Heen there. What a bizarre fight. Both teams losing lots of core heroes. The two supports for MVP left standing at the end.
That was a really weird. Yeah, the epicenter was just he
that
whiffed.
Was so
I think.
bad. Yeah.
I think it was like he missed all of his pulses. I think only 2 pulses ended up hitting.
And it was on Luna, who has Aegis.
Yeah, I think it was just a little bit of a misplay there him. And also, it looks like DDZ's having a bit of trouble microing his primal split because he actually didn't even end up throwing anybody up until I think 6 or 7 seconds into his Panda ulti. So Shadow Demon got a really nice defensive disruption on his teammates, and I feel like he could have just thrown that guy up and they could have won that team fight a lot harder there.
These defensive disruptions have been game-changing. The previous top fight, it saved lives multiple times for MVP, but we'll see if he can keep this up. He's definitely become a higher priority as far as who Arrow want to focus, but focusing heroes gets tricky with 4-staffs coming for the Centaur as well as the Shadow Demon building a 4-staff as well, it looked like. So there's going to be 4-staffs all over the place for MVP Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Lance though is doing a great job farming. He's got his Basher up now too. So I feel like he's pulling a little bit ahead over the Luna, and if he gets onto that Luna, he's going to be able to blow him up if the defensive disruption's not there. So if the Panda ends up microing really properly, I think that the fights can go very disastrous for MVP.
Well, we've got ourselves a game here in game number 3. Arrow take a game 1 stomp. Game 2 a bit closer, going the way of MVP Phoenix. But here in game 3, not much separating the two teams. Arrow Gaming slightly ahead on the gold graph, but all in all, I think MVP just having that, like, they've got so much kiting potential for the lifesteal as well as the Brewmaster with Stampede, with 4-staffs, with Viper Strike. It's going to be hard for Arrow to actually get kills in these fights.
Do see him smoking up mid, so maybe they're going to go for this engagement. Yeah, they see the Infest going up on the Sanking, so...
They jump the Viper. Where's that Shadow Demon? Everything. Okay, they'll get the full damage on March. That Centaur not going to get the Blink Hoof Stomp off. March still low, gets hit by the Bottle Top. Defensively disrupted, but that's going to mean no Stampede for him when he comes out. He would have loved to have been alive for that, or been out of that disruption for the Stampede. Now QO, BKB in. He could be in some trouble once this wears off, doing a lot of damage to the Sanking. Forces out a Sandstorm, but QO, his BKB... about to wear off, and this is going to be the death of him. Centaur blinks into a Burrow Strike. 2-hero Burrow Strike coming out. Next is going to be Raised on the Visage taking a fall. That's 4 dead for MVP. No more defensive disruptions for you, and Sanking wants to chase. He's going for the Shadow Demon in the base. What? He'll get him. Why not? You get the kill. The Shadow Wave helping heal Johnny up. Johnny will TP out, but that's a full 5-man wipe. Arrow Gaming going to get a tier 2 tower and possibly more off of this, although I don't think they can really go high ground here. They may get some chip damage, but unlikely to actually get a tower or the racks.
That was a very commanding win for Arrow there. I mean, I'm not sure how much this... We're going to be seeing this shift pretty soon, but...
Yeah.
Lifestealer, I was just saying, he just bought his Basher, and now if you click on him right away and you see how much gold he has 3,000 gold on top of that. So he's going to have an Abyssal Blade coming out really soon. And Luna, he hasn't gotten anything in the past couple minutes because he's just died twice.
That fight, Shadow Demon just showed up to that fight a little bit too late. If the defensive disruption was there immediately on Viper, it would have been good. By the time he used it, Viper was already dead. Not to mention Stampede was being used, so Viper didn't even get the Stampede because it was in the disruption.
And Centaur, he didn't get to get the initial hoof stomp up, and then he tried to go in again, and he got Sanking stunned as soon as he blinked in, while the Luna's BKB was deactivating. So it was a little bit of a fail by the Centaur there.
Yeah. But
it was still very well played by Arrow. It was perfect timing from the Sanking to blink in and stun the Luna.
I think the first one was stopped by the Prophet Ultimate, I want to say. Like, it was nothing really working out. It looked very sloppy, but I think end of the day, small things just canceling that Blink Dagger and the Burrow Strike timing. That was a bit of luck for Arrow Gaming with that Burrow Strike, because he blinked into the Burrow Strike as it came out.
Yeah, now Brewmaster's level 16, so that Primal Split's going to be pretty damn powerful, and he actually has a Perseverance, so...
Refresher. Or maybe Lincoln's, but... This is not a Lincoln's game. There's no hexes, really, that you want to deal with. There's nothing like that single target and troublesome. I think this is actually a Refresher.
Refresher sounds pretty damn scary.
Okay. Let's make it happen. Infest once again into the Sanking, as Johnny going to be looking for another pickoff here. They've got Observer, which will be immediately, easily dewarded by DDZ. And
I've actually never seen that ward. that Obs ward coming out of Arrow over there. And they do see the epicenter channel.
Again. Burrow Strike to follow. They're going to go on the Viper once again. Shadow Demon not there in time.
Melted.
Oh, March is going to be yelling at that Shadow Demon, and now we'll see Shadow Demon pop out. Defensive Disruption being used, but he'll die as soon as he pops out. Viper even going to buy back for this one. They've lost the Shadow Demon to start the fight here. A lot of damage going down on Zhang Zai. Nature's Prophet does have a buyback should he go down. He's been graved up for now. There's your Eclipse once again. Treants, Primal Split Warriors just tanking this all up. Qo's going to just run back to base in BKB form. Raisin will go down, taking so much damage. All that bonus damage coming out with the Weave online. March is going to go down as well, and that's a dieback from your Viper. Visage gets a kill on the Dazzle in the end, but Tier 3 tower now going to go down. It looks like Arrow Gaming may have found a way to break through MVP, get the Raxes, and possibly take game 3.
Yeah, this game just completely shifted in momentum very, very quickly. You know, one full 5-man wipe with only one of their people on Arrow going down was absolutely huge for them. And Lance didn't even decide to go for the Abyssal Blade. He went for the Hyperstone, so he's going to be building the AC now. And that's going to be really good for him because with the Primal Split and everything, those things are going to be hitting so hard. And yeah, we're going to see what DDZ needs. Nah, it's just a missed of stump there. He tried for it at least, you know.
I like that. You know Arrow going full retreat. You want to try to get that pick off.
Yeah, and DDZ, we're going to see what he actually decides to go for. He has a Perseverance, and like I was saying before, now he has like 4,000 gold, so we'll see. He does go for the Refresher.
Full Refresher picked up. And Assault Crest not far away from Lance. He's just picked up the Plate Mail as well as the Chain Mail, so we're going to see that, well, just a recipe away, about 1k gold away, I think. No, he's got it on the Courier. He's got a full Assault Crest, so this next push is going to be 10 times scarier.
Yeah, they have Refresher on the Broom. They just got so many items right there. I mean, that's what really happens once you win, you know, 2 big team fights. You get a Rax, of course, you get the buildings. But now MVP might actually be able to, you know, sneak a Roshan.
I like this from MVP. I think they realize they're in such a bad position. They need something like a Roshan. Well, not even a steal, just like try and sneak that. They're camping in there for a while. It will respawn in just half a second, it looks like, as the Familiar will scatter out immediately. But Arrow pinging it. They know what's going on. They've got one Observer Ward in the bottom river, which gives them some intel, and looks like they're ready for Roshan. Treants will scout it out, and Arrow will not let MVP take this like the last Roshan.
Yeah, and just pointing it out because we haven't really given him too much credit. Mosin, that grave on Furion was actually beautiful. He ended up saving him. He's lost his life, but you know, saving a Furion for yourself is much better. And he does have a mech up on that Dazzle too, so he's his own, you know, he's his own presence.
It was a nice. Prophet did have the buyback, so you could have just seen Prophet buyback and come back in the fight. But yeah, it was definitely a nice play from Mosin. He's had some clutch plays this entire game, apart from the Primal Split grave in that.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird, but.
That fight was just like tons of summons, Necrobooks, Primal Splits, all like grouped up on. He was trying to aim for Lance, who was like no HP, so you can't blame him too much. But it looks like Arrow Gaming can secure Roshan for themselves. Maybe they don't even care about Roshan with AC with Refresher. They may just look for a team fight or even just a high ground push.
Oh, good port off there by Q. It looked like they saw him. They somehow just knew he was there. They were pinging on him, so they were gonna go for him. But Arrow just. They're just keeping MVP in their base. They're choking them. They're not letting them get any farm all over the map. They're just keeping the pressure on.
Yeah. Well, MVP bottled up in their base, and that basically gives Arrow Gaming a free Roshan if they want it.
Yeah, and I don't. That's a pretty scary thing to contest versus with. If they, you know, they should be able. I think they spotted out the Panda with the Refresher.
They had Observer Wards that got dewarded, I believe, so they should know it's up. And I think MVP. That's just, unless you have a Death Wish, contesting Roshan is just not in the cards right now.
I like DDZ picking up a Null Talisman. You know, just making sure he has just enough mana for that double ultimate after Refresher.
It's for the Refresher Dagon 5. That late game Brewmaster play.
I mean, why not? He's not forced to go for the AC. We do see Pandas either go for like either a Hex or a the Auras, but Shivers, you know, Lifestealer was able to go for it. Yeah.
They've got drums already on Lifestealer, so yeah. I don't know if this Null will be a Dagon, but Dagon, not exactly a good item, but not the worst pickup you could possibly get.
Yeah, maybe we'll end up seeing going for it, but who knows?
LD says Veil, which probably makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, but I mean, Sank.
Look, man.
Yeah, the Sank King has his own Null Talisman, so he's probably going to be able to building the Veil for them at least.
Lance is going to get hit by the stun at mid. He doesn't have the Aegis. He needs to be careful, taking a lot of damage. GDZ says, "Come inside of me." As Sankin goes in with an Epicenter, and actually, lost.
Lance gets blown up though. They decided to give the Aegis to the Panda instead of giving it to Lifestealer, so he actually goes down, and now Panda's he's gonna end up dying here. And it does proc the Aegis there, so he does have the Refresher. He's gonna be able to pop that ulti off again. But right now, this fight's going in favor of MVP.
Great play by casting there. Was there a 2-hero Burrow Strike coming in from Johnny as Raisin's gonna get caught? Now we see the Yule's Micro coming out from the Brewmaster. They lock the center in the air. They'll pull him back down and probably hit him with a nice blink out. Actually, Forev gets out of there, but Rax is about to be exposed here in the mid lane if they focus the tier 3 tower. They actually decide to back off. Buyback from the Visage will scare him away, and
What have you done? What have you done?
I don't know.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a bit strange of them to give that Aegis to the Panda. I guess the Lifesteal just didn't want it because he didn't want to have to sell anything. Get he didn't have not having the room for it, but he definitely needed it there. He got blown up.
That was, I would say, definitely a mistake. But I think Arrow Gaming in such a good position. It's not going to be too costly of a mistake. It's maybe it's an okay-ish hold for MVP. It still costs him a buyback from the Visage, although not that Visage. I mean, it does slow down Visage's Aghanim Scepter progression. So.
But they just Mars just keeps getting annihilated. He's had the same items I think for, I don't even know, maybe even over 10 minutes at this point, and he's 1 in 7. So
Viper already is not a good late game hero, like to begin with, and you combine that with getting just your farm completely stalling. This is your only late game option is a Luna. Luna is not going to match up to the Lifestealer once we see an Abyssal Blade also come into play.
Yeah, and I mean, Arrow shouldn't be. They don't really want to be giving up kills like that. They don't want to have to do stuff like that because if you do give too much space to the Luna, he can carry, but it's going to be super difficult versus a Panda and a Lifestealer, and they have the heroes that can just bring the Lifestealer right on top of the Luna, and they have the Veil finished up for the Sand King as well now. So all over the place, Arrow just getting a lot of items on all their heroes, of course, because of just what ends up happening when you're just winning a game. Everyone's going to of course have items, and I think they're just going to wait for this Hex to come out on the Fury, and maybe they're going to go for a pick, and then they're going to go just, either go for breaking high ground or just take out that last tier 2.
And it's been long enough that this Luna BKB is getting shorter and shorter. This is going to make it really hard for Kyo to stay in these fights. 6 seconds down now on the BKB for Kyo, so this is where that Hex can really come into play. And we'll see John.
Yeah. Smack.
Yeah, that's the other thing with the guaranteed first hit crit. Familiars can... they weren't one-shot with the last one I saw, but that one there melted very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And DDZ has 2,600 gold, so if he wants to go for that Dagon, he can. But
I may just want like a buyback. I guess he doesn't have like a buyback boots of travel money, but we'll see. Right now, DDZ leading the charge at this top lane. Refresher in 15 seconds, so I imagine it will at least wait for that to come online. Does the Refresher cooldown go down while you're in that Primal Split timer? Do you know, like if you use the Primal Split, will you come out with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So it keeps on ticking down while you're in it.
Arrow has all their lanes completely pushed in as much as possible, so this is their opportunity.
First Primal Split going to be used here. They're going to go and Cure to start things off. Cure may just have to use his BKB. The second clapping use as well. He's focusing down the Primal Split Warriors. Maybe a good idea, but here comes your Sankin with a Blink Burrow Strike. March is going to melt once again. Lance now showing up as well. Johnny getting very low. Kept alive by Grave. He's going for an Epicenter. He's going to get this off. Doesn't really do too much damage. There's no connection really in sight, but it's Lance chasing your Centaur. Great force stuff away, but how much is this going to matter? The second Primal Split comes out now. Cure gets chased down by a Boulder Toss. Yule's up for the Shadow Demon. They want to get Cure to start things off. The second clap being microed as well, but I think they realize who needs kills. Let's just get these Raxes. This will secure us game 3. Glyph being popped now as well. They want to try and force back the Primal Split Warriors. The Fire Panda getting very low to a Soul Assumption. Only a melee Rax is taken, but Lance, he's re-engaging. He goes on Cure with the Rage with the Bash. He's actually not really doing enough damage to actually get the kill there, so he'll go full retreat and Centaur.
They can back up for now, but
another Team Infest coming into play. Lifesteal going to turn this one around. He's got Rage in 5 seconds. He's got himself 1 kill. Make it a second.
Get out of there. The Weave's too high. They all have minus 22.
Minus 23, minus 24. There we go. They're going to get out. They may just get this range Rax now while they can. And with that, MVP maybe running out of options to take game number 3.
Yeah, Kyo actually didn't even end up dying there. He played it really well. He just man-fought the Panda's spirits.
Lance going to just turn around with Viper Strike. There we go. DDZ goes in once again. Kyo just going to get walloped down by the hammer of the DDZ. Right-click, and now the range Rax does end up going down. With the buyback from the Luna, Arrow say, why stay? We've got Raxes. There's nothing really more to claim here. We can back off, wait for Dazzle to come back, wait for the Primal Split to be online ×2, and then go again down the mid lane.
Yeah, this is completely in favor of Arrow. I mean, MVP doesn't want to GG out. I mean, it's TI4 qualifiers. They're probably just going to stick it in, but this game it's pretty much over. I mean, Viper just not having the game that he did last time at all. He doesn't even have his Zag Scepter up, and he's still on the same exact items. His Tread's on his way to his Zags with the mech, and he's getting focused and just exploding instantly in this team fights. He's just able to do nothing.
So Brewmaster cops out. No Dagon for us today. He buys himself a Shiver's Guard, which is probably a more reasonable item to be getting, all things considered. And there's your Abyssal Blade for Lifesteal. So this is where, this is going to be tough. DDZ is leaving these Ancients to the Lifesteal. This will give him enough money for his buyback, and looks like once again they're going for a rotation, looking to try and find some more kills.
Yeah, and the lanes are just completely pushed into MVP, and MVP can't do anything. Like this is just what ends up, the Raxes are down, they're against the Fury and everything, and now this is going to be the GG push coming out of Arrow.
How are our buybacks looking as far as heroes with buyback? I think Prophet, one of those heroes you'd love to have a buyback on. He's got it, as does the Lifestealer, so Arrow going to be pretty confident going down the mid lane here. Sanking just 100-ish gold short. Same for the Dazzle with 30 gold short, although these heroes don't matter as much. But for MVP, 0 buybacks. This is it. This is all or nothing for them. And there we go. Brewmaster goes in. Shivers guard. Gets the clap off. Actually, a pretty bad engagement coming from the Centaur. And Brewmaster's just going to zone everyone out while the Lifestealer focuses down the right racks. Is probably going to TP and gets the Hex on March. And March is just going to die for like the 8th time this game. Although he does get 4-star out. Keep love. He dies to the Necrobook.
The corrosive skin
killed it. Oh my god. Corrosive skin on the Necrobook seals the deal. Now Qo just going to try and man fight his way out. DTZ comes out. He's got a second ultimate ready. Is he going to use it? Shivers guard. Yes, you betcha. Kills one, kills the Luna. GG is called. We're going to game 4 with Arrow Gaming. The Malaysians up 2-1. That was good game from Arrow.
They played much better this game. You saw this. They had a little bit of moments where it was a little bit iffy, but they just completely took control of the game, and the Panda just very well played by him.
I would say MVP, though, still held their own, at least for the first 20 minutes of this game, and that's something where MVP played a more standard draft once again, and I think it's still not all negative for MVP here. I think it was still a decent showing from them here in game number 3.
Yeah, for sure. They were standing up, and you know what? They haven't been doing cheese picks. Like, they've been picking regular lineups, and they're just standing toe-to-toe with Arrow, and they're just doing a great job, but just not enough. Yeah,
well, we're going to get the boys on the panel, coming back in.
How you doing?
I'm good. You guys...
That was quite a zinger by you, buddy.
You guys just giggling over there the whole
time. I know.
I'm trying to, like, pay attention.
Well, he like, you salvaged the cast. He just lost self-control completely.
I hope my parents weren't watching.
That's a BTS moment, by the way. We're immortalizing that for all
my
the
parents
viewers
sometimes watching it. If you're watching it, I'm sorry, Mom and Dad.
Well, Fear, that was quite a Brewmaster game. The Viper just got completely shut down. The laning stage went okay, but beyond that, it's that double Brewmaster. Like, what do? You can't stop him from getting off the ult because they didn't have a Doom. They didn't have enough burst damage. He always gets off ult every fight, and the fight's just over at that point.
Right. And one big thing is that you pick a Viper to completely destroy your lanes, and what a clowny game this was at times. Like, that double kill from Brewmaster when they're going for the chicken snipe.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, that's just facepalm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Facepalm. That changed like so much because Viper was doing so well.
It really, we were talking about it in the other room, and it was like the NAR game where you had the one chicken snipe that won you the qualifier, then you had the
other one that lost us a game in what, 8 minutes? I think the game was like 13-0, and we were like,
Yeah, 14-37 could have just backed to that game. But hey, you know, it's a bit of a risky strat, but if it works, then it looks great. So.
I actually liked MVP's lineup a lot more this game, to be honest with you. The Lightstealer pick was really questionable for me when I saw it. It's good against Centaur, but there was already a Viper, a Shadow Demon on the field, so it's
a lot of counters.
Yeah, it's like, okay, and they're running a single core. I guess you can count Fear on as another core, but I wasn't feeling it. But they still managed to win. So
Lifesteal, there was plenty of Lifesteal counters, but like he was still crushing the fights. Like
he was so far.
The nice thing for the Lifestealer is like he always enters the fight after somebody else. Brewmaster goes in first. Sand King goes in first. Lifestealer can just pop out whenever he wants. So
they had ways of not dying to the Lifesteal. They didn't have ways of killing him, I think, is the problem. They didn't have that Fiend's Grip or even that right click. Like, Luna was just not doing enough damage in those fights to kill the Lifestealer.
Visage needed an Ags that game.
Yeah, if you have like an Ags Visage, Medallion, potentially you can focus on Lifestealer, force him back, but they just didn't have it. And the other thing was the Weave. The Weave was just doing work.
It was doing so much, really.
Especially in that second to last fight right near the end of the game.
Not even just the fact of the aggressive portion of the Weave. Like, the defensive portion, they were taking almost no damage. You're seeing, like, Viper hitting people, and it's like 50 damage. 60 damage. Like, it's just nothing at that
Viper
point,
and Luna also spend half the game either being Thunderclap, Drunken Hazed, or Cyclone.
Yeah.
BKB doesn't last forever, and towards the end of the game, they were, I don't know, like 5-6 second BKBs at best.
And Viper for me that game, as most games, didn't do anything at all. I mean, the first game, it did really well. Like, he wasn't dying, but like they initiated with like an Epicenter, Burrow Strike, Panda, ult on top. He just disappeared.
I think the Shadow Demon also wasn't always in position to save the Viper. He was
even if you save him though, like what? It's not like he's gonna turn on the
fight. He comes out maybe as well. So it's like.
I think, like Fox said, you needed to like crush your lane and just. How are you gonna beat the Panda that hard? Even without the double kill, like just ban Drunken Haze, you get your level 6. Yeah, Viper farms, but who had the bigger mid game impact? Like
Panda for sure.
Yeah, even if he doesn't snowball that hard, I think he still does more.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, guys, game 3 now in the books, and we're going to game 4. Do you see Arrow taking this with a 3-1 win? Do you think MVP can bounce back?
And they can. I mean, these games haven't been totally one-sided, so I believe MVP can come back, but I'm still have to give Arrow the advantage here. They're looking good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fox,
I think
over to
they're
you.
probably feeling really confident after that game too. It was pretty commanding stomp. I mean, it didn't look like it was that much of a stomp, but that Panda just completely controlled the game.
Gods, of course, you're rooting very hard for Arrow here, since if you lose the bet MVP wins this series, then they're already qualified for TI4.
I've got my prediction at 3-2, but I don't know.
Your track record with these bets is not the best, so
it's a bit sketchy. But
do you think you'll come through here?
I think Arrow will take game 4. Even though I predicted 3-2, I think this is Arrow have low moment. I think the draft. We've seen the same first 4 bans in the first 3 games. I think Arrow are going to change the bans this time and not. I don't think it's actually the Prophet's a problem, but I think they'll force a different style of draft because I think MVP are going to get into a comfort zone where they know what they can get the first pick Prophet and draft around that. I think Arrow Gaming are going to make them draft differently this game.
Yeah, is Viper first phase material? Like
definitely not.
I mean, we've seen a majority of these like Southeast Asian teams like picking it or banning it within the first 2, so they really like it. But
Brewmaster I feel like just completely destroys that hero too. Laning phase throughout the game.
I like Viper better for MVP than I do for say Mineski. Like I have no idea what Mineski's doing picking Viper because they don't play around the hero well. They weren't good at push strats or early game aggression, but even so, Viper he's got like one way to do well, which is crush the lane and then you start snowballing and taking towers early, which MVP, yeah, they like to run push strats, but they're not super polished about it. So. Yeah. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up game number 3. Game 4 is coming next. Arrow Gaming now on match point for 1, maybe 2 more games. You're watching the International 4 Southeast Asian Qualifiers presented by Monster. We'll be right back.